Welcome to Counseling Talk. Juan here. I want to get into the subject all about relationship tips. So I want to share with you a few tips today. And if you're someone in a relationship, if you are finding yourself in a really good spot in your relationship where you are like, yes, let's take this to the next level, maybe go from dating to seriously dating, or maybe you find yourself struggling. There's that disconnect, that lack of communication. Things go in one ear, out the other, and then you're wondering, why do we keep going through cycles? I want to share with you some relationship tips that you can go ahead today, write these down, and you can apply them. If you know me, I like to keep psychology simple. Whether I'm working with patients that allow me to walk with them in their journey of life, or I'm on here, with you, being able to connect through good old social media, if you will. I like to look at these really complex challenges, whether they are in relationships. So the first relationship tip is listen. Right? Listen not with 1 year, not with 2 years. Listen with your eyes. Listen with your body language. Listen with your ears. And hopefully you noticed what I did there. I talked about the ears, I talked about the eyes, and I talked about body language. Listening goes beyond just, giving someone one of our ears. Right? If I'm communicating with my partner, my wife, and we're sitting down, I want to be able to acknowledge what body language does. As an example, imagine if you're communicating with someone, right? And you're telling them something, and all of a sudden they look down at their phone. Automatically, that's going to cause a reaction from you. For most individuals, we'll feel that we're not being listened to. So that's just the first issue there, that you feel that you're not listened to. The second issue is that feeling where you feel that you're not listened to causes a reaction now. You probably react by saying less, avoiding future conversations. You may even react by a behavioral reaction as far as turning away from them and just saying, I'm done with this conversation. So what I want to share with you, a very simple strategy that you can utilize in building your relationship, right? And allowing your relationship to just be nurtured and supported in the way that it should be, is listening with purpose, listening with intent. Allow your eyes to connect with their eyes. Allow your body language physically, face them, look towards them, summarize what they're saying. And of course, use that nonverbal and verbal language. The next strategy I want us to look at is taking some time apart. Now, I'm not here to tell you to go to a whole different country and say, see you later, wife, I'll be back in a year, while exploring the safari. No, not that. But just allowing you to still be your independent individual you. I'll kind of share a little bit about me. I am big into exercise. I'm big into fitness. Before I dove into counseling, I was a personal trainer for a local YMCA. Loved it. Loved connecting with people. Loved running. Loved lifting the weights. Now my body's like, oh, I'm sore. Too much iron there. And kind of getting back to the point of taking time apart, that may mean that I have a conversation with my wife and say, hey, I like to be able to go, on a CrossFit like trip with some friends, or I'm gonna go on a long bike ride or a run. That time apart, it's hours, right? It's a little more spaced out than 30 or 20 minutes. It allows me to connect with me, to connect with some of those values that I really feel nurtured by and close to. And then what's beautiful about it is, yes, the process, exercise is amazing for the body, but what's beautiful is that I feel I am in a relationship that allows me to be me. I am in a relationship where it has like this really core umbrella that says, you can still be your authentic, genuine you. We're not changing that about you. And she receives the same thing. I like to think about, that example that I gave you there as those dimmer lights. When we are not allowed to be who we are, or pushed, and you can't be your authentic, genuine you, you're dimming that light. And most of us have walked into a room where there's a dimmer light. If the light is dimmed, you can't see very well. If your light's dim, we're not going to feel very well. So that's the basic notion there. The next strategy, number 3, is putting away your phone's technology. I know that you're busy, right? You're navigating life. You're doing amazing things. And, I don't even know you, but I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you are waking up every day and you're living purposeful and you're trying to be a great partner. You're trying to be the best you. And I love that because it's going to benefit your life and it's going to benefit all the lives of those that you connect with. And that's how we have a better world, if you will. So kind of getting back to putting away your phones, whenever you're dedicating time to your partner, remember that. dedicating time to your partner. If you and I right now are having this conversation, all of a sudden I pull up the phone and I start going, elsewhere and talking about, whatever I see there, it'll make you feel a certain way. So whenever you're with your partner, you're eating out and you're having a dinner date, think about how the action of looking at your phone, pulling your phone out, impacts the date, the mood, and the interaction that you're having. It may reduce arousal. It may reduce that thought of, yes, we're gonna, take this from first base to second base, because now I see that you're more interested in your phone. So we're definitely not going to do that. So I kind of want to keep that very simple, giving each other that space to say, hey, let's just put the phones in the basket, and then let's engage in our date. Let's have a good conversation. The other strategy I want you to look at is creating a list together. And when we look at creating a list together, I want you to think about like a to-do list. Most people have to-do lists. But what is the to-do list for your relationship? Think about that. Are there little bucket items there for your bucket list? Are there objectives? Are there goals? Sit down with your partner, get a sheet of paper, write down the things that you want to do together. Places you want to go, foods you want to try, craft activities you want to take on. For my relationship, my wife is really good at it. I follow the leader there, and we do it, multiple times a month where we'll sit down. She's got this blue leather notebook, and we write down the things that we want to do, places that we're going to go, food we want to try, projects we want to do, and then we engage in them in a team effort. So I want to encourage you to look at that same idea. What it does is it allows you to feel that you're living a life together, a purposeful life, versus kind of going in different directions and then hoping things are going to be okay. Before you head out today, I want to thank you for sharing space with me. And I want to ask, if you haven't done so, would you be willing to do the kindness of subscribing to the YouTube channel? The YouTube channel, Counseling Talk, it's all about making psychology simple, building connections, allowing us to, be our better self, if you will. Allowing us to learn from our mistakes, overcome challenges, being able to raise our hand and saying, yes, I want to get better at this, or I want to get better at that. I want to be a better husband or better spouse, a better friend to my friend. All of those beautiful things. If you find that there's anyone in your life that could benefit from this channel, let them know. I love getting on here. I love providing this pro bono support, if you will, where I get to connect with you. Again, in my heart, it allows me to have this feeling where, if I'm sharing a relationship advice, kind of give you an example of vulnerability here. If I'm sharing a relationship advice and you're out there and you're listening, and then it supports your relationship, there's like this beautiful domino effect that I feel where I get to, I don't get to see you, obviously you're way out there, but I get to feel that you're benefiting from it. Then you get to be a better spouse. And then your kids get to see, that. They get to say, that's what a healthy relationship looks like. And then they get to mirror that. And then we have this domino effect. We have this beautiful generational pattern that takes place where, we are growing and those around us are growing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing space with me. Have a beautiful day.